I've been to countries all over the world and have never once experienced culture shock. Nothing rattles me. Nothing ever has me questioning my views or forcing me to rethink life or humanity on the whole. And to be honest, I thought for sure that nothing ever would. But, yeah, that all changed when I went to Varanasi, India's holy city. It is a vibrant city brimming with life, so it will blow your mind when you hear about the rituals that take place there every single day, because Varanasi is the city where many Indian people go to die. If you couldn't tell, I did not know what I was getting myself into. That might sound hard to believe. Look, I get it. I mean, I booked the flights, I booked a hotel. I planned out this whole trip. I mean, surely I must have known something about where I was going. Honestly, I didn't. I had 28 days in India, and my ambitious goal was to visit 7 different cities across multiple states. I really wanted to go to places that were diverse in language and culture so that I could see many different aspects of Indian life. So when I pulled up a top cities list and saw that there was a city in eastern Uttar Pradesh in which the inhabitants washed themselves in a holy river in order to cleanse themselves of their sin, that was good enough for me. I was convinced. I put it down on my list, I booked a flight, and then with how busy my jam-packed schedule was in India, I didn't really think about it again until I landed. But now that I've actually been there, I can't stop thinking about it. In most cities around the world, I would tell you that taking a tour is optional. But that is absolutely not the case here. Hiring a guide is a must. If you're like me and you don't know what to expect from Varanasi, and especially if you aren't deeply connected to Hinduism and Indian culture, I promise you that taking a tour will enhance your experience tenfold. My tour guide's name was Akash, and his family has been putting together tours in Varanasi for generations. I sort of got the sense that everyone in Varanasi sort of knows this family. Akash had the ability to just walk into places that other people couldn't. It ended up giving me incredible accessibility all across Varanasi, which I would not have had if I were on my own. The most iconic and impressive things to see in Varanasi are the ghats, which are these long stairways that descend down into the River Ganga below, also often pronounced in English as the River Ganges. There are 88 ghats within Varanasi, all with different names and purposes. Among them, 2 are very special. Throughout the day and night, all year long on the Manikarnika and the Harishchandra ghats, deceased human bodies are actively being cremated. It's all part of an elaborate ceremony that takes place in Varanasi after death. Bodies are brought down to the river and water is placed onto their head by various members of the family. The closest male relative, the father, son, or otherwise, will then have his head totally shaved, wear a white robe, and bathe in the River Ganga twice a day for 14 days. Meanwhile, wood is chosen and purchased and arranged into a bed, and the body is cremated. After the cremation is finished, Nirvana is achieved when the ashes are spread into the river. There's even so much more to it than just what I'm mentioning here. I really encourage you to learn more about it. It's one thing to hear it explained, like I'm doing in this video right now, or to read about it in a book, but to experience it and witness this ceremony and to stand on the ghats where these cremations take place was a remarkable thing to behold. I won't be sharing footage of the cremations out of respect for the deceased, and you shouldn't either if you visit, because there are some people who feel that it interrupts the soul entering Nirvana, but viewing it is welcome and encouraged. And just know that I was right up there alongside the bodies. I felt the heat of the fire, and I left the ghat totally covered in ashes. It was remarkable and harrowing, to say the least. I finished the tour and was exhausted, both mentally and physically. We walked miles through Varanasi, and it was hot. I needed to eat, I needed water, I needed to sit down, and mostly, I needed to process the day. Thankfully, right above the main tourist ghat, there is a vegetarian restaurant called Udupi to Mumbai. It is probably the most touristy restaurant in all of Varanasi, and normally that would be a big annoyance, but here, tourism doesn't feel like you're used to. These are grieving people looking for a meal, domestic tourists on a spiritual journey. I ordered a curry called Paneer Charminar. Paneer is basically fresh cheese, and so this was like a spicy cheese curry. As I ate, I kept looking around and sort of catching people's eyes. It was a very specific energy that they were giving off. It's as if they were looking at me and asking themselves, why is this man here? Look, I get it. I mean, imagine choosing to attend a funeral. That's sort of what I was doing, and yet I was fascinated. I wanted to learn so much more about Varanasi. Lucky for me, I had another day. And so, before I left, I pulled out my phone and booked another tour with Akash. This time, not on land, but out at sea. Sailing across the River Ganga is one of the most popular experiences that you can take part in throughout Varanasi. It's almost jarring to see salespeople selling this bright pink and yellow cotton candy, souvenirs, and tickets to lighthearted attractions like this one, just a few ghats away from where cremations are actively taking place. And yet, it's these contrasts that make Varanasi so unique. I hopped onto the boat with Akash, and this time I had the chance to learn so much more about the city from the water. I learned about famous visitors and ancient traditions. I learned about how the city handles flooding in monsoon season, why so many of the buildings are constructed with karma at the front of mind, and about various gods and how their influence shapes both Varanasi and India as a whole. Afterwards, I had the chance to take part in a ritual of my own. I purchased a small dish of flower petals along with some matches. The idea is simple. When you're out on the water, you light the candle and then gently set the petals into the river. And then you close your hands and make a prayer or a wish. And, I honestly didn't know what to wish for, because at that moment, I was so grateful. There was no rain, even though it was monsoon season. It was another incredible tour in an incredible city with a great guide. I mean, what more can you ask for? But, well, there was one thing that I wanted. I wanted a badass Captain Jack Sparrow moment, and, Akash was able to grant that wish for me really quickly. Thank you, Akash, for indulging me and taking this video. Akash had now spent 2 full days showing me around the various temples and back alleyways of Varanasi. And so it was honestly just icing on the cake when he used his influence one more time to hook me up with an amazing viewing spot to see another iconic Indian ceremony. Every single night of the year, no matter the holiday or the weather, along the banks of the River Ganga, the AARTI ceremony takes place. As with everywhere, Akash knew a guy, and so I was hooked up with this spot high on a rooftop overlooking the river for this incredible ceremony. Can we shout out Akash in the comments, by the way? He's literally getting married soon, so please send all the luck and blessings his way. And if you want to book either of these tours, the link is down in the description below. Just request Akash. The AARTI ceremony is significant within the Hindu faith. It expresses gratitude to God and offers prayer through a series of melodic bell ringing and a waving of lamps in certain rhythmic and synchronized formations. This particular one pays homage and offers daily worship to the River Ganga itself. Bearing witness to this ceremony can bring many good things to the viewer, including health, well-being, and luck. And it's believed that when you make certain hand movements over the flame, as you're seeing people do in this video here, that it will bring about good fortune. I sat on the rooftop watching this all take place, and honestly, I was transfixed. Oftentimes, the crowd would respond to whatever was being said with unison chanting. I have no idea what any of it meant or why it was being said, but I did know that I had never seen anything like this, or heard anything like this, or even seen clips of something similar to this on Instagram or on the Travel Channel. You're watching this video, so if you do decide to visit Varanasi, you will arrive already knowing so much more about it than I did. But you know what? I still think that it will be just as shocking for you to see it with your own eyes. And also so powerful and so culturally enriching. I've been to a number of other cities in India. Many of them are already featured in videos here on YouTube. Links to those are down in the description if you would like to watch those as well. But none of those places prepared me for this. Actually, nothing that I have ever seen or done prepared me for this. But this is why I travel. The opportunity to immerse myself in and gain an appreciation for ways of life that I honestly didn't even really know existed. It was the first, and so far only time, that I have ever experienced culture shock. At least in the sense of being genuinely taken aback and overwhelmed and overjoyed by what I was seeing take place in front of me. And you know what? I hope it's not the last time.